Yeah. I don't know about you, but I'd be more worried to face my back towards that way.
Right.
After the other night, that's where the reservoir is.
After the other night, or the
The
last
thing,
time
the
we were
thing that
here.
ran out at us.
Mm.
Yeah, this is where it comes from.
Ah.
The reservoir behind you.
Ah. I'm a lot more worried about the humans and the spirits.
Okay.
So I mean, I feel you though.
Yeah, that's true.
It makes sense.
Yeah. All right, there you go.
But I'm sure if something you detect that first,
Ah,
and I
yeah.
got my eyes this
Brother,
way,
you know
so
me. I can't detect nothing, bro, when I'm talking. I just talk story, talk story. I don't detect nothing.
ah,
Let's see. Is that the moon back there? No. Oh, that's kind of cool.
oh really? Yeah, we're almost no moon.
Oh, almost new moon. Okay, then no more moon.
Well, yeah, actually, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Uilani, how's it? Suzette, how's it? How's it? All right. Yeah, we are at a different location tonight because we got the Judd and there were just way too many bugs.
Termites galore.
Yeah, like we parked in a cloud of termites. That was not fun. So we're over here. Got my termite trap over there. See, bro, it feels like 10 degrees colder here, yeah?
Hmm. Yeah, no more. I think no more the trees. Yeah, the windbreaker.
Yep. You can feel you can feel the stuff coming down. The humidity of the day just falling down. I love that. Sandy, how's it? Rigoberto. Oh, that's a cool name. I know somebody behind me. Downtown is a few miles that way. Get plenty somebody's behind me. So yeah, we're gonna tell ghost stories tonight. We are at Nuuanu Reservoir or near it. We're at the Board of Water Supply. Um, yeah, change the scene up a little bit. Hey Noreen, how's it? Cheryl, how's it? Alias One. Hey, aloha from the East Coast. Good evening. Hey, aloha from Hawaii. So yeah, I hope you guys all had a great week. Having a good Aloha Friday. News this week. Not really much ghost stuff going on, but I did do a little. I did just figure out how to go live on both things from my house, but that's it. I can go live on Facebook and YouTube from my house. And I tested that out, but then I couldn't do anything else. So yeah. Hey Neil, how's it? Good to hear. Good to see you, bro. Um, Nothing really ghostly happened at work this week. We're just really nice and cool and chilling. People are of course scarier than ghosts, right? But nothing bad, nothing creepy. Hey Aussie, how's it? Yeah. I figure YouTube is strange too and everything. Melody, how's it? So we're gonna do ghost stories. I like to try to plan things, but it occurred to me like I realized too. I was thinking about it, and I'm like I will save my best ghost stories, but then like what 2 weeks ago I had what 20,000 views, and then last week I had like 50. You know what I mean? So it's kind of weird. Personal scariest ghost story. I got plenty of stories that are scary. One I did well. I was thinking about telling was the Bobby Mackey one. Um, do you have a religion? Yes, I am Roman Catholic, Christian, Catholic, whatever you want. Ah, it's Kahiko at Mary Monarch. Nice,
Hmm.
nice,
I didn't know
nice.
I had Mary Monarch.
That's right.
So much
Forgot
I don't
about that.
watch cable TV anymore.
Yeah, I know. But what is cable TV? I don't catch it on Netflix, bro.
Exactly. I know. I don't use the box. I don't subscribe to cable anymore.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
all streaming.
But yeah, I'm not gonna dance hula. It's not that kind of scary show. I don't like scary you guys about that. All right.
So before you start going on
What's up?
before you start your stuff, so you know how you said you had a bunch of viewers last time, right?
Yeah.
So did I tell you what my analogy on that was, or what I kind of
No,
conclusion I came up with?
no.
So I noticed every time we have those large numbers of groups
Yeah.
or viewers and stuff, we always have some very there's always activity
There's always
on those
strange
nights.
stuff that happens. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah. Have you
yeah.
ever
You know.
noticed that?
Well, I haven't had that many views in a while.
Well, so the last one, the one with the one the what you call it came at us
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that night. There was, I think you got up to like 300 or 400 viewers
Yeah,
at one point. You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
so that's something that I kind of
And we had a lot of. Bro, that was still fun, dude. That was crazy.
it was. So, but yeah, I just thought I'd mention that before you start
Yeah.
going off and see if
Yeah, 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 yeah.
you thought the same. Because I mean, I know a couple of the viewers too, they tend to comment on how much viewers are there. You know, because it's such a big difference, yeah. And
Mm.
it seems like every time we've gotten that, and I've always chalked it up to the spirits. You know, being
Yeah.
around, and that's why we get all these viewers. Or
Maybe.
you know, I don't know. Maybe I'm just kind of overthinking it or whatnot. But I kind of had that feeling.
The implications of that are a little kind of like selling your soul kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Bro, my name not Zach Bagans, all right?
I didn't,
I'm not gonna get scared for views.
I didn't think of it on that level, Joe. But you know,
Hey,
I just
Casey,
kind of
today,
noticed
that's
the
it.
correlation of it all. It's
Cheryl.
like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know,
Something to keep in mind, that's for sure. Yeah.
So
All the
so
cool
that
stuff happened when I wasn't watching. Melody. Ah, yeah, that's bullfrogs, not croaky frogs. That's why we're here, because all the frogs, I have my flashlight down on the ground over there so that all the termites will go to the light, yeah, and then all the frogs go eat the termites. Casey, you had strange happenings at work. Client works in the storage facility and came upon a body. You win. Weird scene kid, hi. Yeah. I should have you as a guest one night, Casey. If you get some stories to share. I can't wait for May. We're gonna do some mental health month ghost stories from when I worked at the mental hospital and all of that stuff, right? Why am I red? It's a red light over here because the white light will attract all the termites out here. So yeah, Braylon, how's it? Okay, so we're gonna do ghost stories. Can you say hi at Georgie while laughing and looking at the camera? Hi at Georgie. That's so weird. That sounds like what is it? That's isn't that a movie? Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's kind of it. Yeah. I'm on Oahu. You know, what, maybe I will show you guys where we stay. Huh? Maybe you guys not like see my my beautiful face. I'm not sharing. I'm flipping. Doo-doo-doo. There you go. What a beautiful view. Huh? Yeah. Okay. That's it. I can't do the it laugh. Sorry. Okay, we get the. Oh, we get ducks over there too. See, I'll show you guys around a little bit. There's my light. There's my attractor, and we got the reservoir over here. This was the one last time I walked down over here. I would say a year, maybe a little more than a year ago. There's a little path that goes around. I was walking down there, and there's a big trail, a big sign that says "No trespassing, keep out." But I pretended I never see the sign, and had a lot of stuff telling me don't walk over there. Yeah. I remember. I was over there. I was walking, and then what was it? The app I had basically told me don't go. You know, the app I had was basically kind of telling me not to go, and then I still went anyway. And what do I see on my right side? All of a sudden I jump because there's a movement right at my right foot. There's an owl sitting on a branch that's coming out of the pond, the reservoir. An owl, a pueo, which is a guardian, an almakua, telling me, you better watch the hell out. You know what I mean? Just by its presence. It looked at me and then it flew away. That's on the video. And then I kept walking because I was stupid. And the little seeds in the tree kept, like the wind picked up and the seeds kept flying and hitting me on top of my head. Now these were flying sideways, not falling down, they were falling sideways. And they were pelting me in the head like, you dumbass, get out of here. You know, like people keep throwing stuff at me. You know, like listen, fine, you know. Hey, Hinata, how's it? No Blue, hey everybody, aloha. Land animal Hawaii has, I would say that would have to be the Samoan. What is the biggest land animal Hawaii has?
Wild?
Huh?
Wild or
The, I would say, yeah, oh no.
if we go wild,
Yeah.
I would say the pig.
Yeah, you get that kind of horses and stuff too, but yeah, I don't know. We will talk though about one thing I wanted to talk about for the stories is over here we got the mo'o, yeah, the lizard people, and we got a little frog over here. The little frog is gonna be eating good tonight. Oh, hello. Yeah, there's a little frog. Oh, that guy gonna get fat. Yeah, we got the lizard people over here. Was wondering what bird call or what noise that is at night. That's a frog. Bullfrog. Yeah. You heard that?
That's me.
Huh?
That's me.
Oh, it's you. Okay.
Yeah, it's just a funny feeling over here.
Yeah. That's a toad. Bullfrog? Something like that, yeah. Lorna, how's it? Found something to watch between the UH Volleyball and the Marine Monarch Festival. Oh, you think that's loud? Sugar Big Island. You get the croaky frogs over there. You're not gonna sleep, or you gonna sleep good, whichever one. Anyways, here in Hawaii we have a legend, mo'olelo, of something a little bit different. Yeah, we have I guess it's kind of similar to a frog, but these things are legend. They're the mo'o, the lizard people, right? Um, they can also be calling spirits, or the kind of spirits that will call to you, that will call your name from behind, or you, that kind of stuff. They live in the water, the fresh water usually, but there's also cases of the salt water, and I love those stories. I have some of my own personal stories as well of this, of encounters with these supernatural creatures. Hawaii, no more just ghosts. Yeah, we get ghosts, we get all kinds of stuff over here. We get the Japanese ghosts. Now, the part that I love that's really interesting is in Hawaii we got the mo'o. The mo'o is usually the wahine mo'o, the female lizard. Yeah, she can look like one. Sorry, I'm watching the light move over there. She can take on the form of a beautiful wahine, a beautiful lady that seduces you, lures you into the water, that kind of stuff, until then she eats you. Or she could be a man, which kind of does the same thing, or a child, or but the men usually don't really lure you into the water. In fact, the only stories and the only encounters of the male mo'o, they're more of the boss. You know what I mean? Kuna would be the guy's name. Yeah, he's the head mo'o, the king mo'o over here. Yeah. You have a ghost story, weird scene. Yeah, please share them. Hey, Ray and Obake. Yeah, we get Obake. Let's go bring that up too. We get Japanese ghosts here too. The Hawaiian have the mo'o, and the Japanese have the kappa. The kappa are, they take on I'm seeing the frog over there, and then the shadow behind the frog, and I'm kind of tripping out. But the kappa is just like the mo'o, but it's like the Japanese flavor to it. In Hawaii, the mo'o, their true form is like long seaweed-like hair, scaly skin, tail, tattoos, maybe piercings, stuff like that. In Hawaii, the tongue is said to come out 10 feet long or more, and it can surf on the tongue like a surfboard, right? That's the Hawaiian mo'o. But the kapa has a bowl of water on its head and a shell on its back sometimes. And if you could trick it into bowing to you and emptying the bowl of water on its head, you render it immobile and you can go ahead and control it. Then you can command it and it will listen to you, kind of thing. But they are very polite creatures as well. But they also eat little children. Yeah. So if you ever been to a Japanese place, you have the kappa maki, the kappa roll. That would be the kappa's favorite sushi, the kappa maki. The kappa's favorite food, which would be the cucumber, right? In the olden days, they would carve their name of the children into the cucumber and they throw it into the pond as an offering to the kappa, as leave my kid alone. Here, I'll keep giving you cucumbers every now and then if you leave my kid alone. And now it's actually a cucumber wrapped in rice. That's the kappa maki, yeah? Yeah, Hawaiian spirits are cool. Matthew, how's it, brother? Mahalo for the stars. Hey Janice, how's it? Sorry, when I'm telling the stories, I got two screens of chatting in front of me, so I'm just kind of not reading them right now, so I can continue talking and sharing the stories. Yeah, wasn't the house in Kaimuki a Japanese ghost or something? That would be, hey Troy, that would be the kasha of Kaimuki. Yeah, yeah, the kasha is supposed to be a man-eating Japanese demon, but she never gave trouble for a long time because the family that lived there took care of her. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened to her after, but Kaimuki get plenty Japanese stories, bro. Plenty Japanese ghost stories. Hey Matt, thanks again for the stars, bro. I'll get to that weird scene, kid. Hold on. Yeah. So you talking about old stories, brother? We go bust out some Glen Grant, and I don't mean the whiskey. Well, that would be awesome too. Um, I used to do the ghost tours. I used to be one of the tour guides for several years for Oahu ghost tours. And one of my favorite stories is we would come and we would go to like the Pali, yeah? Pali Lookout. We drive over there early evening, yeah? Or sometimes, actually, the night this happened. Oh, no, I'll tell you that story after, but that was at 1 o'clock in the morning, the later tour. We would go down to the Pali Lookout with the tourists and the locals and whoever else would like come on top of the tour, and we go walk down the road. We go walk down the road that's closed off now, yeah. We go stand under the tree, and we would tell the Glenn Grant story, right? I like the one of Glenn Grant's stories would be one of Glenn Grant's stories that I read about the mo'o involved a guy from the East Coast named Steven. And I'm gonna tell him, fast kind, I guess, yeah. Steven, Steven was from the East Coast, and he was down here for a few months, and he was loving it. You know, he was kind of quiet, kind of to his own self, didn't really know many people, and decided one day to go to the Pali Lookout in the daytime and take a hike down, right, and enjoy the views. So about 10 o'clock in the morning, he finds himself walking down the old Pali Road, this old abandoned highway on the edge, on the top of the mountain going down, right? So he's walking down, and you know, there's ginger flowers, you have the kind of the lily koi, you have all of that stuff, and the guava growing wild over there, and it smells good. It's a beautiful day, white fluffy clouds, blue sky, and he's walking down right about to go around the ridge, and when he starts to walk down around the ridge, he notices this young girl about his age walking up towards him, and he looks and he notices this girl, this Wahine. She is just gorgeous. She's drop dead gorgeous, right? So he look at her kind of shyly, you know, nods his head, tells her hello, and she does the same thing, and she walks by him, and all of a sudden, as he continues walking down, he hears the girl behind him calling him by name. See, that's the red flag in Hawaii. You don't call somebody by their name from behind, yeah? So he's walking by, and he hears, hey, Stephen, Stephen, is that you? Well, Stephen turns around. You don't do that in Hawaii. You call somebody by their name, it's to their face. Son of a... Sorry. It's to their face. If it's to their back, you go, hui, eh, you know, like that. That's how you get their attention. But you don't call someone's name to their back. Anyway, so he stops, turns around, and here's the girl over there. Like, hey, Steven, I knew that was you. How are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm good. And he's like, how do I know this girl? You know, this girl's gorgeous. Guarantee I'm not gonna forget her. And so they continue, right? They continue talking, and they're like, oh, you know, he's like playing it off like, you know, he's embarrassed. You know, like say you don't know her, right? So he's like, oh, yeah, 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 okay. And she's like, oh, this is your first time hiking down here. And hold on, sorry. He's like, oh, this is your first time hiking down here? He's like, oh, yeah, it is. She's like, okay, well, why don't I take you to one of my favorite places over here? Here we go. Like, why don't I take you to one of my favorite places? It's like, oh, okay. Where are we gonna go? She's like, let's go down the road because there's a little waterfall over here. We can go swimming. And he's like, oh, oh. And she kind of gives him a little wink, you know, like he's like, oh, oh, okay. And seductively, she's like, yeah, we can go swimming. He's like, I never bring swimsuit. She's like, that's okay, me too. But we can still go swimming. Spoiler alert, you cannot. No more pond. Just get the two waterfalls real shallow. I checked it out because I wanted to go swimming. But so they go walking. They turn around. They go walking. The Wahine turns around and she starts walking backwards. She knows the trail so good, right? So she's walking backwards, and Stephen is just staring into her eyes, and she's talking to him and seducing him and telling him all kinds of stuff. And he finds very soon that he doesn't have to look around. He just has to follow her. So he just looks into her eyes, and she takes him around every obstacle, every root, every tree. He's safe. He doesn't even need to look at the ground. Um, and then they continue walking a little bit more. About 5 minutes passes, and oh, he is just, you know, under her spell, so to say, right? And all of a sudden, she kind of takes a step back and stumbles a little bit, and she looks down at her feet and breaks eye contact with him. And he kind of stops and stumbles too, then she looks back up at him, and when she looks back up, her face was gone. Um, her face was replaced by this old woman's face. This old woman was just staring at Stephen in panic. The old woman yelled, "Stephen, run!" And Stephen was like, you know, kind of taken aback. He blinked, and then the girl's face was back, like nothing had happened. And the girl was talking to him like nothing had happened. And they keep going like nothing had happened. But he had that little thing that happened, and he's like, what the hell? That little itch in the back of his mind. He knows that this thing happened. There was something about the lady. The lady was familiar to him. He knew that lady, that old lady. He knew her. And so the girl continues walking backwards like nothing happened. And he's like, no, 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 no. Something is not right. And he's trying to stop. And he realizes he cannot stop. His feet keep moving against his will. His eyes are on hers, and he can't take his eyes away. He can't move his eyes off of her. And she is just looking at him and smiling and pretending like nothing, but she has him under some kind of spell, some kind of trance that he can't break. As he takes one step after another, he gets more terrified with each step he takes, and he falls under her control more and more and more until a few minutes later, she stumbles again and breaks eye contact. And then the old woman comes back and says, "Stephen, what are you doing? She's gonna kill you. Run!" Stephen says, "Screw this," stops his feet, looks down at his feet, and realizes in horror he's about a foot away from the 900-foot drop straight down the Ko'ola mountain range. He's about one or two steps away from falling off of that cliff. And he watches as the girl continues to walk backwards, talking and talking, but he's not looking at her anymore. And he watches as she takes a step backwards over the cliff. Instead of plummeting to her death, her leg vanishes all the way up to the knee and becomes mist, like almost like like a cloud. And at that point, he turns around and runs. And as he's running up, he's screaming. 10 o'clock, 10:15, 10:30 in the morning. He's running back to the Pali lookout, screaming. And the whole time he's running back to the lookout, he hears her voice echoing in his ears, saying, laughing and laughing and laughing at him and saying, "I'll get you next time, Stephen." And that's when he really remembers, when he jumps into the car and drives away, that lady, that old lady, was his auntie that had actually died more than 10 years ago. She came back from the East Coast to save him and to break that spell. So yeah, that's the story we share on the Old Pali Road as we're standing under the tree, right? And that's when I'll go off and say, okay, so the male mo'o, well, the female mo'o will try and seduce you. They're like calling spirits, right? The female will turn into a beautiful girl and say, hey, come, let's go swim. You know what I mean? Let's go skinny dipping. And the guy that she's trying to seduce gonna be like, yeah, 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 shoots, let's go. And then she turns into a lizard and eats your intestines, sucking it out through your kind. Yeah. And if you're a woman, though, you don't get a handsome guy coming out of the water. Hey, baby, how you? You don't get Jason Momoa. Sorry. Instead, you get what is more effective. You get one little kid crying for help. Yeah. You get one little kid crying for help in the water, drowning, because then the girl's gonna jump out and try to save him. Yeah. And then when you jump into the water to save the little kid that's crying for help, you're gonna get drowned and your intestines will, yeah, be eaten. Sorry, I go read some of the comments now over here. I'll go tell you guys my personal story that happened to me over there. Hey, hi Skippy, how's it? Actually, I'll go share this guy's story right there. Weird scene kid. Because you want to type him into the stuff, so I go read him. So around 1960 to 1970s, there was a man who was taking a nightly shift at the supermarket. It was around 12 a.m. and had 4 more hours left, but then he heard the door jingle. But then he heard the door to jingle. Hey, Janice, mahalo for the stars. He thought he was just hearing things, but he heard it again. He went to investigate, and he realized it was coming from the janitor closet. He opened it slowly, looked down, and saw a kitty. But then the cat's eyes disappeared, and all that was left were the eye sockets. The man rubbed his eyes, and they appeared once again. What? That's all I'm gonna share because I'm tired. Are you still here, brother? I could share you one Obake Neko story, one Japanese ghost cat. Hinata, how's it? I saw a story. Rain, yeah. My friend was fishing by himself by Kahe Power Plant, bro. That's enough said. Kahe Power Plant, power ready, bro. He heard a girl's voice say hi. He replied hi, and turned around and saw nobody. Next night, he was watching TV when he noticed. By the foot of the bed of his bed. Then a girl with long hair shook his bed. He went out of the room. He had to get his house blessed. Yep, sounds about right. Thank you for sharing that, you guys. Yeah, awesome. It's a good lesson. Somebody go call you. Like, okay, so here's what happened. I was on the tour. I was doing the tour, right? We're standing down the Old Pali Road, and it was a midnight tour, right? So it was like one of those special Friday the 13th or one of those. I think it was Friday the 13th, where we did 2 tours that night. Anyway, we start walking down the Old Pali Road about 1 o'clock in the morning. Now we get over there. Excuse me. And I tell the group all the stories I just told you guys about Steven, about all of that stuff. And then I'm telling them, if you're a guy, you might get a girl to seduce you. That's going to lure you into the water. But if you're a girl, you're going to get a little kid calling for help. And as soon as I said that, coming from about 15 to 20 feet, maybe, I don't know, down the road, down the Old Pali Road, the overgrown, right down on the other side of a turn, so we couldn't look straight down and see, had one little girl's voice. Everybody heard. We talking, there was more than 20 people with us that night, all right, on that tour. 1 o'clock in the morning, down the Old Pali Road, we all are standing there, and you hear this girl. Hey you, come help me. Hey you, come help me. Now I'm situated where I'm standing towards the bottom of the road because it's an old abandoned road. In front of me is the entire group, and behind them is the Pali Lookout, and that's the way up. But to my back is this big, is the Old Pali Road, right? And so I'm like looking around, doing one head count to make sure nobody went sneak around behind me. Everybody in the group is still in the group. There's nobody missing in the group, right? And I look at the group. I'm like, you guys would hear that or what? You know what I mean? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, they're probably thinking to themselves, oh, what a cool tour. You know, oh, wow, that's awesome. You know, I'm like, bro, this is real. Okay. Des, yes, that is the frogs in the pond. And so I'm over there, and I'm like, I think we should go, And then there's the voice of reason. Some guy in the group, he's like, what if it's a girl? What if it's really a girl, and you're gonna leave her there? And I looked at him, and I'm like, damn it. So I'm like, you know what? He's like, you should go check. I'm like, here's my flashlight. Why don't you go check? And he's like, no. I'm like, does anybody else want to go check? Nobody wanted to check. Nobody wanted to walk down the road. And so then I call out. I'm like, all right, that's still a good argument. So I called back down to the road to this voice that came out at us. And I'm like, all right, if you're there, if you need help, tell me what your name is. Tell me what school you go, how old you are. Tell me where you live. Tell me something. And then the same voice came out again. Hey you, come help me. Hey you, come help me. And I'm like, bruh, it's like a broken record, right? I heard it again. And I'm like, no. I'm like, no, you one more time, you tell me your name, tell me something else that's different. If you like me, come help you. Prove to me that you're a real person. Nothing. I'm like, okay, then we getting out of here. Then we heard the voice again, I think. Repeated the same thing over and over again like a broken record. And at that point we just said, okay, nope, nothing else. We out of here, bye. And we ran out. We ran the hell out of there. A couple of weeks later, we were at the Pali lookout, getting out of the van in the parking lot, right? At nighttime. And we all got out of the van. We're about to start walking towards the lookout itself. And coming from the bushes where we had parked, you hear that same girl and that same voice. Now, I'm the only one that heard it the first time. So I'm the only one that knew what the heck this was. But before I could say anything, everybody got freaked out and ran back and powered back into the van and said, we need to leave. So that was at the parking lot, now down the old Pali Road. Third time was about a month or two later, and this was on a day tour, a cultural tour. We go to Likeke Falls, which is the falls that are right at the base of the old Pali, right, of the Pali. It's in Kaneohe. It's in Kaneohe side. You got to go hiking, and it's the base of the Pali almost, right? That trail will take you to the base of the Pali, where all the warriors' bones are still resting and blah, blah, blah. But there's a waterfall right over there, and that waterfall is actually the one that comes out up on the top. It's called Likeke, that turns into the twin waterfalls that Glenn Grant's story, that one was talking about. That's further up. But we were there. I think there were 7 of us or so, or 7 people, and we were, take pictures of the waterfalls, have fun, walk around, tell them some of the history of the place. And then as we were getting ready to leave, from the top of the waterfall, we hear that same girl's voice calling. The same words, 10 o'clock, 10:30 in the morning, same thing, we hear her calling for help. Hey you, come help me. Me, I never say nothing. It's daytime, I'm not scared, And I watched the whole group, and we wasn't even doing ghost stories. The whole group would freak out and run. The whole group was so scared that they ran past me going to the car. Okay, I'm the guide. I'm the one that has the keys for the car. I don't know where the hell they think they're going, but I'm the one that had the keys, and they kept running. We get back to the car finally, and I'm like, what was that all about? They're like, that girl. You didn't hear that girl? I'm like, yeah, I heard that girl. It was a girl that needed help. She was up on top of the waterfall. They're like, they said that they didn't think that there was a girl there. That something in their head was telling them to run because there's something bad. Yeah. Jerry Lee, how's it?
Yo,
How's it?
maybe protocol, bro.
Sure. Aloha kupuna. Aole pilikia. I'd like to ask permission to be out here tonight, to be in the area, share stories, that kind of stuff. Once again, Aoli Pilikia, we don't come here with any kind of trouble. We don't mean any harm. We don't mean any disrespect. We come here to share stories for the spirits of the area and to get away from the mosquitoes and the other ones. You good, brother? What's going on?
Huh? No,
Behind me or in front of me?
it's jumping back and forth.
Huh?
It's kind of jumping back and forth.
What are you getting?
Just it's very uneasy.
Yeah, I was telling the story and I could feel that too. That there's something different
Yeah. Well,
listening to the
so
story.
discussing with Louis, I think there's a moho around us.
Hey!
There's something else in the bush. So the moho was
Fuck. Sorry.
kind of on guard.
The
Kind of how
mo'o,
I felt, and
the mo'o is guarding us.
wondering what we were doing here. So that's kind of part of the reason why I told you to do protocol real quick, just to anyway give her the stuff. But I don't know, like there's something else that's moving around here. When I got up earlier,
Yeah.
I was looking because I heard somebody walking
Okay, okay.
on that side. But something either this bush and this bush kind of just going around us that might not be the moho.
Yeah.
Something different.
Hey, dude, whatever's around us, we're in the area.
Right.
It could be around us. It just can't come into my bubble. Yeah. I'm okay with whatever is around us. I mean, there is something here. There is always something here. And it's not good. But it it stays away. Hey, you know what? If we need to leave, just let us know, yeah? You too, bro. Uilani, if we need to leave, let us know. Protection is number one, yeah?
Yeah, yeah. You're okay. Like I said, I'm just
No, boo.
on guard more so. I don't know if like I'm sensing them or
Yeah.
their emotion or
No.
it's
Yeah.
just me. Like I've we've been here before, you know what I mean, and I've never felt like that,
Yeah.
like this at this area.
Yeah.
But right now, I don't know. It's just something different in this area tonight. And I know we're at that no moon or new moon stage, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we are at that.
So I don't know if something's coming or you know what I mean. Something's telling me that.
Maybe this is not a good place to be on a night where there's no moon.
Hey, well, let me stop you though. We'll go, and if it gets too much, I'll let you know. But
Yeah. Let me know, bro. Let me know.
yeah.
No shame. Stop me if you need to, bro. Okay.
Yeah, no worries. I think we might be okay for now since we did protocol. I think we just gotta.
No blue. Question: are gay guys safe from drowning lizard monsters? Sorry, reading some of the comments over here. Matt is here with me, Des. Um, the helicopter frog sound has been getting louder and closer. Yeah, we get those beyond the house too. Respect the area, of course. Bro, we were so respectful. My car is right behind me. We're not gonna intrude at all. The whole Koopa would have been a good idea. But I don't know about this area. We don't usually come here. It is a nice area to hang out at sometimes, though. But yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about the area. You talking about when Mahu, if they're gonna have problems with the mo'o? The mo'o will do whatever it takes to lure you in. Yeah, it'll take on the form of whatever it will to lure you in. Yeah, usually it's preying upon your aloha, your the kindness in your heart. Yeah, so it'll take on the form of a kid. Son of a gun. I like this one turn off. It's okay. It was dead anyway, so I never charge him. This is the board of water supply on the Old Pali Road, yeah. Oh, New Pali Drive. That's where we stay. Yeah, thanks, Wilani. The moon is supposed to make a smiley face with two of the planets tonight. That is awesome. You know what? I'm gonna do this. Turn this back around. Just cause We don't need to catch any. We don't need to see nothing over there. Yeah. Let me go turn this light to red. So, ooh, yeah. How you get the red light? There we go. There we go. Um, moto stories. Get plenty of moto stories. Sorry, now I can't see because I am blind. But yeah, we stay on the Old Pali Road on Nu'uanu. Where we usually go. We almost went to Mount Willie tonight though, but maybe week after next. Um, I do want to tell that the recall one of the stories we had what last August with Weelani was on the live with me. That was cool. We went. I went over to the Big Island and we went over to Boiling Pots to go do the live. We went Boiling Pots to do the live. You good, bro?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I'll be late.
Okay.
Might would forget them.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, I got
Yeah. Hold on. Yeah. Let me go ahead and say that, Weelani, before I get into that night. You're right. Not all mo'os are calling spirits. Some are like mine are amakua and protectors. Yeah. So one night I walked down the Old Pali Road. I had a bunch of friends with me. One was a psychic, Jennifer. And I get down the Old Pali Road, and I figure I wanted to tell that story of Stephen right in front of where the mo'o are, right? Because when you go down the Old Pali Road, Likeke Falls is actually a valley up on top of the mountain, 900 feet up. It's a valley that goes all the way up and in, and you got the twin waterfalls, and that's where some of the mo'o are, right? And so we get over there, and I start telling the story, and something feels uneasy, and some of the equipment starts to go off and malfunction and stuff like that, and then Jennifer tells me that she's like, 'cause I said the mo'o are calling spirits, and Jennifer's like, there's a few of them here, and they're not very happy, Joe. I'm like, I kind of felt that. Why are they not happy? They said, because you make it sound like all of them are calling spirits, and they're all bad. You know, it's like there's just literally one of them that does that. The other ones, they couldn't care less. They're more of guardians. They're just there. They're like us. They're doing our things, right? It's like racist, maybe, right? You know, like you go tell stories like that, and when you see a mo'o, you're gonna think it's a bad calling spirit, and you're gonna die, and it's gonna try to lure you and trick you and that kind of stuff. But they're not like that. They cruise. They hang out. They're good. You know what I mean? Majority of them. There's always the one off to the side, the one or two, right, that are gonna make it bad for everybody else. But generally, they're all good, right? And so I apologize because they got upset that I made it sound like they were all evil. But no, they're not all evil. I have to go ahead, like a little disclaimer, yeah? Oh, Janice, thank you for the stars too on Facebook. Mahalo. So yeah, anyway, so we're over there, and you know, all of these stories, they all kind of go together, but I'll go tell this one, and then I'll go end with one of my favorite mo'o stories, right? The Glen Grant one. But this one was, it starts off with my sister, right? My sister calls me up. She's on the cruise ship, working on the cruise ship. This was maybe 2009. And she tells me that somebody on the cruise ship had died. And they went into this place called Boiling Pots, and they just never came out. And I'm like, well, Boiling Pots is not a good place to go swimming. You know, they get all these lava holes and all that stuff. And then she's like, yeah, but it's weird. It's like they just went missing and nobody can find the body. It's one of the crew on top from the cruise ship. And so I'm like, so she called me and she's like, it's like that Glen Grant story. I knew what she was talking about. She didn't even have to say it. She's like, this kind of stuff isn't supposed to happen anymore. What the heck? It's basically the mo'o, right? And so first I decide to I get off the phone with her and I'm like, all right, let me see what I can do. And I go use the bathroom, right? So I go sit down in the bathroom. In the bathroom I had all these books, right? I grab the book to read while I'm on the toilet. And it was legends, Hawaiian myths and legends and stuff. And I just opened it up to a random page, and the random page that I opened it up to told me the legend of Kuna, the mo'o god of Wailuku River at Boiling Pots. The mo'o king, not the mo'o god, the mo'o king or the mo'o god at that same location my sister had just talked to me about. And I'm like, this is too much to be a coincidence. So I call up my kahuna friend after, lady on the Big Island. I call her up, and I like kahunas, they're all mystical, right? But she answered the phone. Hi, Joe, I know it's you. And me, I'm still kind of skeptical. You know what I mean? I'm always kind of skeptical. Like, yeah, yeah, yeah. You know it's me because you get caller ID, Auntie. Relax. You know. She's like, I know it's you, Joe. And I'm like, all right, yeah, Auntie. She's like, I know why you're calling. And I just want to tell you what you think happened actually happened. I'm like, really? She's like, yeah. She said, there's a reason why the local people don't swim in Wailuku River. Wailuku is called deadly water. That's what it means, deadly waters. You know better than that. Like, she's like, I'm like, oh wow. She's like, yeah. So that's exactly what it is. She's like, sometimes locals die, but if they die further down, you don't hear about it on the news. You don't hear about it on anything. At the time, I was a tutor, right? So I tutored. This was like, yeah, I was a tutor as well during the daytime. I was tutoring this kid, and she had brought it up because she had read in the paper that one of the guys from the cruise ship, and she knew my sister worked on the cruise ship. But she said that it was a few days later. She said she found it really interesting, and she saved the articles for me. The mother. The first article said that this boy, the first article said they recovered his body the same day that they lost him, and they medevaced him over to the hospital where he died. The second day said he died in the medevac, and the third day they said they finally recovered his body from the water. I remember thinking like, wait, and I'm reading this one after another in the advertiser, and I'm like looking at the dates, thinking, wait, what? They had the guy's name, and it was all just like, yeah, this doesn't make any sense. It said he died on, what was it, Monday? Then he died on Tuesday, and then he died on Wednesday. I'm like, wait, all three different ways. I don't know what to think. It's so weird. Anyway, so his name is Kuna. I remember because Kuna, you go down Route 1 right down over here, there's a lane, Kunawai Lane, which leads to Kunawai Pond. Kuna, I think, means eel. Vai, W-A-I, means freshwater eel. That's how I remember. That Kunawai Pond actually has a plaque on it saying that this is the pond, and it explains about the Hawaiian supernatural mo'o because that's where the mo'o would gather, right there. You know, um, I've had stories, I've had encounters. Well, my family has had encounters with this Kuna from the Big Island, right? So I shared some of those stories on the Big Island when I went to go visit, just to go vacation with my family, and we did a live. I did a live with Wilani. We get out over there, and it's weird because me, I see myself as I'm just chill. I'm mellow. I love to share stories. I like to have fun, kind of happy-go-lucky kind of guy. But when we got to Boiling Pots, I started telling the story. I started reading the plaque about how Kuna and Maui fought because Kuna was picking on Hina, Maui's mother. And so Hina called her son Maui, and Maui came over and beat his okole pretty much, right? And as I'm reading that I start telling some of the other stories because Kuna is not a good guy. He shows up. He shows up. And Uilani is like, look over there. And in the bush, there was this presence. And the presence was like, what you say, 30 feet tall, 40 feet tall? It was this big guy, 30 or 40 feet tall. Just, huge thing standing in the trees. And the feeling I got was it wanted to scrap. This thing wanted to fight. And maybe it was my Hawaiian blood. I'm not a scrapper. I don't fight. But you know what? The older I get, the more I don't put up with BS anymore. You know what I mean? And yeah, I go scrap. I don't care anymore. Scrapping is so much easier than talking. Before I used to talk because I had the patience. I don't more the patience. I just go teach them a lesson with my fists instead of my hand, my mouth. You know what I mean? My words. I wonder if those newspaper articles from a different time dimension or some other time. That's interesting. I didn't even think about that. And I didn't even know about that possibility back then either, Troy. But yeah, so I'm over there and I'm getting kind of nuts, right? There's this guy over there, and I can feel this fricka is calling me out. Oh, you know what I like? You know what I should do? I should watch my old lives, dude, on my computer at home. I should react to my own videos.
I brought that up to you before.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
About reacting to like
No, my own
yeah,
videos.
like last week's live. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah. I don't remember that. That's yeah. There's so much things to.
That was a while back though.
Yeah, well, everything is one ear out the other.
Oh, good, bro.
Yeah. He was over there and he was like, he wanted to scrap. And I can pull up that video and I can go to the time when all of this was happening and replay it for you guys. I might do that. Like, I cannot do it Wednesday. Maybe I'll go do it when I can. So you guys are on YouTube. Follow, subscribe, click the bell. If I randomly go live, yeah, you guys can see it. Because I like to. But Wednesday I go leave next week. And I go be in Chicago. And you'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, it was like the Ovilus, the random word generator I was carrying around. Right, this thing, and like, Ulari had to like pull me off of this guy, right? I'm like, frick, this guy, he had to grab me. She's like, no. Let's walk this way. Let's go over here. Let's walk. Yeah, he was nose to nose with us. Could feel the heat. Yeah, oh man, my blood was boiling. I'm like, oh, this freaking guy. And she's like, no. Relax, Joe. And I'm like, yeah. I'll go relax. I'm fine. But this freaking guy, you know. And then I walk it away. I'm walking away to calm myself down, like I'm walking away from a fight. And then my ovilus is chicken, you know. And like this frick, I almost would turn around and run back to the, you know what I mean? Like, oh, cuz, yeah, I gotta find it. It happened a couple times where it was like, it said it was the ovilus, the random word generator I was using was calling me out, you know, like scared, you know, that kind of stuff. I'm like, nah, I'm just gonna turn around. We're just gonna walk away. The hell with this. Scared. I'm like, oh, you fricka. Like, nah. We're fine. Chicken. Like, oh, this freaking guy. Like, freaking scrap. But then we went down to Rainbow Falls, which is right down the river. Same river he's at. Same place he has access to. And guess who never once show up? Yeah, that fricka. So yeah. It was fun. These are the mo'o, right? The some of them are like dragons, some of them are like giants, some of them are, it all really depends. It could be little tiny lizards and stuff, and yeah. Hugs before hitting. Now when you get one 30-foot tall lizard calling you out in the pitch black, Casey, I'm not gonna hug that bugger. Previously to that, a few years ago, he followed my cousin home when she was like 15 or 16, and he wanted her to worship him. And what he didn't know was she's a badass, right? So he jumps in the car. He followed home. So he attached himself to some kind of keave wood or koa logs or something that her father would pick up, and he just kind of caught that into the house. And then he was in the back of the car, she said, when she was driving, and he appeared to her and was telling her to worship him, or else this is going to happen and that's going to happen and bad stuff and blah blah blah, and and then she just kind of laughed and like just subtly called all of her guardians. And all of a sudden the car was full of all of these big Hawaiian warriors, big Hawaiian spirits, and they beat the crap out of this mo'o god, right? I asked her about that. I'm like, oh yeah, I was actually telling her one day. I'm like, oh yeah, there's this other one called Kuna, and she's like, Kuna, he's from Big Island, yeah. I'm like, yeah. She's like, I know him. He tried to get me to worship him, and that's when she shared the story with me. Like, interesting though, she told me that he is the oldest one. He has very distinct tattoos and piercings. That's how she said that's how he looked. Dinosaurs could be considered as giant mo'o. Possibly, yeah. So then mo'o enticing not just by seduction but by strong emotional triggers. Ah, for trickery. That's a good one, Troy. So it wasn't seducing me, but it was still trying to get a reaction. Um, when we would do the orbs tour, the red orbs, everybody would think, oh, evil spirit, because red, yeah. But the red is said to be anger, but it's also said to be passion. It's said to be a very extreme feeling, a very extreme level of feeling, like passion as well as anger or hatred or something like that. That power, that amount of powerful feelings is what would make the orb or the color turn red. Yeah, interesting though. Yeah, I've had enough tests. Thank you. But still, I'm not one to back off from a fight. You know, I got Michael the Archangel behind me. This fricka like acts stupid. Okay, one last story. Then we go Palana for the night because it's been an hour already, almost. By far, one of my favorite stories is a story that was collected by Dr. Glenn Grant. Hey, thanks for tuning in, Melody. Uh, a story that was shared by Dr. Glenn Grant, collected by him and shared by him. The story had happened in the 1950s, right? The source is was a retired police officer in the 50s, right? Late 50s, I think it was. He told Glenn Grant this story about when he was a cop. The story goes like this: This happened on the island of Oahu in Waimea, up on the North Shore. What is that? The bike. Yeah. And one Tesla. All these weird noises tonight, bro. Anyway, so it happened up on North Shore, and how am I? Sorry, brain fart. Too much things happening around me. See, when I'm telling stories, I'm also trying to, not usually successfully. So that's why I'm glad I get Matt here. He can watch out. He can watch my back. But I do try to pay attention to what's going on around me, even if though I have a light in my head, in my face, and I'm trying to entertain and read and all of that and tell a story at the same time. I get distracted really easily, right? Um, oh yeah. So the officer tells Glenn Grant the story. This was in the 50s at Waimea Falls, right where the waterfall is, right? And you can go hiking there. You can go Waimea Falls, but I think you gotta pay. Or Waimea Park, you gotta pay to get in there now. But there's a little path. You can hike all the way back to the waterfalls, go swimming, get one big pond, get one waterfall. Real nice, yeah. So what happened was one day there were these four boys. They were from Seattle. They were merchant mariners, and they were just taking turns jumping off the rock into the pond, like people do. And this one boy jumps off the rock, but he slips, bangs his head on the way down, and lands into the pond. And the friend sees this, and they jump into the water to get him. And they watch him as they're swimming towards him. He floats up, and you can see him. You can see his shorts. But then he's yanked under the water, like somebody grabs him by his shorts and just yanks him under the water. And they're swimming around and they're diving around and they're looking for him and they're looking for him and they cannot find him anywhere. After a while of unsuccessfully trying to find their friend, they call search and rescue, HPD, HFD, the police, the firemen of the search, all the search and rescue. They come up, and as the sun is, as it the late afternoon is starting. They're heading up the valley to look for him, and the officer sharing the story is one of the cops that are actually, to search and rescue. So he's going up there, and he knows that there's not much time left with daylight, but they're going to do the best they can. But he also knows that they're probably not going to find him because they this happens every now and then. People jump off the waterfall, they fall into the pond, and they make, they unalive, they die. Um, But the strangest thing, the cop said, was that, yeah, they will spend days looking for the body. This pond is not that big. It's not that big at all compared to other ponds. I mean, you could swim to the other side in about a minute on both, axes kind of thing. It's not that deep. The water is murky, right? But that's about it. He said the weird part about that is when people go missing in that pond, when they jump and their body goes missing, as much as they'll search for him all day, they won't find him. But 3 days, 4 days, 5 days after the body goes missing, and they've been searching for him and searching for him, the body comes floating up into the pond like it was there all along mysteriously. And no one has been able to say why that's happened, right? So the officer said when he would go there when there's like a drought and the water is low, right? So the water is like 5 feet down, 10 feet down, and he'd be searching around in the pond area looking for these underground little underwater caverns or lips or caves or shelves where the body might get stuck underneath, and that might explain why nobody can find the body. Never saw anything like that, right? Nothing that would explain it. So he gets up there and they're searching and they're searching and they're searching, and he's ready for the inevitable. He's pretty sure they're not going to find the body, and they don't. Soon it starts getting too dark to continue their search, and so the officer's like, we got to call it a day. I'm sorry. Um, why don't you guys come back Hala Eva with me? You guys can sleep in my house, and we'll come back up before the sun rises, and we'll start our search right as the sun rises. You know. So why don't you guys just come over to my house, crash, get some sleep, and we'll search all day tomorrow for your friend. And the other three boys were like, "Oh, thank you for the offer, but we'd rather stay here at the pond in case his body does come up." They're afraid that a wild animal's gonna eat him or something. Hey, Sean, how's it? Master Ray, how's it? How's it? So they're afraid like when their the body's gonna come up to the surface, and one animal's gonna eat them, right? So they decide that they're gonna camp out at the pond's edge that night, and so they do. Um, the next morning, because the story is coming from the cop, right? The next morning, the cop's walking up. As soon as the sun is coming up, he's walking up the valley with his people, with the team. They have these long poles with hooks at the end of it, and all of this stuff to go search for the body, right? And as they're walking up the valley, they see these three guys, these three Howley boys, climbing down from a tree as soon as they're spotted and running up to them. And he said his observation was they were white yesterday, but today they look like shark bait. They were whiter. They looked like they hadn't slept. They were terrified of something. And they were hiding in a tree, So as soon as the cop saw them, they came running up to the cop. The cop's like, "Hey, what happened? What's going on? You guys all right or what?" And they finally managed to get the story out of their mouth. They said they were camping out there that night, like they said they would, right on the side of the pond. And maybe about 10 o'clock or so, it's all dark. They cannot see nothing, right? So maybe about 10 o'clock, they estimate they're just starting to doze off when they start to hear this sound, the sound of splashing coming from the opposite end of the pond that they're on. And they're all up and they're all listening to it, and it sounds like a person walking out of the pond. They hear the splashing, and then they hear the splashing stop, and they hear the shuffling across the pond of the rocks on the grass. They hear something coming around towards them, like it's stalking them, like it's sneaking behind the grass, and they can hear the footsteps, and they can hear this, and it's like a person came out of the pond and started walking around. And then they get right behind where the guys are, and then it jumps over their head and screams and lands with this loud splash back into the pond. And they looked at each other like, what the hell was that? And they just didn't move. Nobody moved. About 10, 15 minutes later, they heard the same thing again. The shuffling, the splashing coming outside of the pond as it walks around the pond like it's stalking them. It gets to where they are, jumps over their head, lets out this horrible scream. They said it sounded like somebody was having their skin ripped off of their back. That's what the sound sounded like, right? And after that, they turned around and they ran out. They ran out of the valley, they climbed up a tree, and they waited for the sun to come up. One of the boys recreated the sound for the cop, and the cop been up there his whole life. He's from that area. He knows every animal. He said that didn't sound like any animal that he knew. He said it sounded like somebody was having their skin ripped off. That's what it sounded like to him. And so he tells the boys to go down to his car, go sleep in his car, get their nerves together. They're going to go look for their friend. And so they do that, and the officer's up there, the cop's up there, and as they're looking for the friend, he gets up to the pond, and he's surprised because, the water's murky, fresh water, right? But when he gets up there, the water is crystal clear. Like, you can see every rock and pebble on the bottom of the pond, like smooth like a mirror, right? Smooth like glass. The waterfall, there's no waterfall. There's no trickle, there's no wind, there's not a single ripple in the entire pond. And so he's like very hopeful. The boys down there, they're going to find him. So they're looking and they're looking and they can't find him. They can't see him, and they can see everything in the pond. The guy walks to the top where the boy jumped from. And he looks down from there and he sees this little splash of color on the bottom of the pond. And as he looks at this little color, it's on this rock that's in the shape of an altar, like right down where this guy jumped. I think it was called like a pyramid rock kind of thing, but yeah, they see he sees this splash of color, and as he realizes what the color is, he sees more and more and more. It was shorts. And then the shorts appear, then the body appears, and he sees the boy's body lying down, arms to the side, perfectly still, on this altar like he's being offered up for some kind of sacrifice or ritual. He yells down to the guys that he found the body, and he points towards the rock, the altar the boy is on, the body is on, and none of them can see it, but they see the rock, but they don't see the body. He has them scrape the hooks over the rock anyway, and as they do that, they hook his leg, and the body appears to them, and they start pulling him out. And as they hook the boy's body, and they start pulling him out to the surface, they notice, the guys that are pulling, that something is pulling back, playing tug of war with this boy's body. So they're pulling to try and get this guy out, and something else is pulling him back into the pond. And the officer is still standing on the top watching this tug of war take place, and he's watching something else happen. The pond is agitated now. The pond starts to bubble. The water starts to shoot up. The water shoots up and down like a laundry machine, like a washing machine. It goes up, it goes down, it starts to agitate and go round and round. And he says as he's looking in it, as it's going round and round, he sees something, a shape that's exposed very briefly, that's causing this little whirlpool, this little thing. And he said, like, as soon as they took the body out of the water, a water shot up where the body was removed, several feet in the air, and this water spring just kept shooting up into the air where the body was removed. They throw him into a body bag, and he's watching the whole pond now convulsing, going up and down, and he yells to the guys and starts running down to them to get out of the pond, to get out of the valley. And they they shove him in the body bag and they run. And as they're running out of Waimea Valley, they are chased out of the back of the valley by a tidal wave about 10 to 15 feet high. Yes, a tidal wave coming from the back of the valley out towards the ocean. Nobody knew how to explain that. They reach the end of the valley. They reach the outside of the park, and then the wave just kind of goes down. Everything is fine after that. But what the heck was that? He checked with the University of Hawaii. He checked with all of these things. There were no flash floods. There was no water coming off the waterfall. It had not rained in days. There were no earthquakes. There was nothing that anybody could explain that. And this is what he wrote down in his actual official police report for what happened. He wrote this down in the police report. And so he had no idea. Whoa. Sorry. I saw red eyes all around us.
Last story.
Huh?
Last story. We need to go.
Yeah. Yeah, last story. I just saw like 4 pairs of red eyes, like 15 feet away from us. We'll do a little prayer before the big two. So yeah, but the thing is, we leave on our terms, right?
Close out fast.
Huh?
Let's close out fast. Sorry.
What's that, bro?
We can close out fast.
Faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of quick.
Yeah. Yeah, we can go. We finish them up in the car. Yeah.
They're coming.
Huh?
They're coming.
Who's they? Ah, yeah.
Sorry.
No. Thanks for the heads up. Hold on. Intermission. I will tell you guys, you Hawaiians that are watching this, this is not Hawaiian. This whatever is over here. Sometimes better we don't mess around, yeah. Yeah, I looked around and right in front of me there were 4 pairs of red eyes. And this is not usually a really good place to go to anyway. But never have mosquitoes, so it was on the priority. Or never had that kind of termites. Saint Michael the Archangel, defend us in battle. Be our protection against the wickedness and snares of the devil. May God rebuke him, we humbly pray. And do thou, Prince of the heavenly hosts, by the power of God, thrust into hell Satan and all evil spirits who wander the earth seeking the ruin of souls. Amen. Saint Michael the Archangel, defend us in battle. Be our protection against the wickedness and snares of the devil. May God rebuke him, we humbly pray. And do thou, Prince of the heavenly hosts, by the power of God, thrust into hell Satan and all evil spirits who wander the earth seeking the ruin of souls. Amen. Aoli Pilikia, you need to get the hell out of here. You don't belong here. You hear me? You need to leave and get out of here. This is not your place. Go home. Go to where you came from. How you doing, bro? Good? Okay. Right? I'm not telling you again. Get the hell out of here. You don't belong in this valley. You don't belong in Hawaii. Leave. So what, I just made them worse. These are the things from 13 Turns. Strange number. That's my phone number. Can you guys hear me on Facebook? There we go. Fuck. Sorry. I don't like this thing. I know what this thing is, but I cannot say it. It's not my.
Do you wanna
No.
wait, before we go? Do you wanna maybe cut the live?
Yeah.
We'll go down to the bottom of the Pali Junction, and then maybe come back on the live and talk about what's going on here. Do you want to do that, or we just end it in? I'm sure everybody's kind of interested or curious to know what's going on,
Yeah, you know,
because we don't normally.
we can keep this on. You hold this. Hold this. We'll just drive them.
Okay, yeah, I'll just.
Yo, how's it? Yes, wait, what is? Can you guys hear me? All right, so you guys can hear me. Yeah, we're just gonna get the hell out of here. He said from 13 turns. I don't know what's from 13 turns. I don't even remember what happened at 13 turns. Did we take Tom to 13 turns?
You see, remember? I believe Uy was with you guys, and she saw something in the trees, kind of looked like the predator.
Oh,
Does that ring a bell?
That's just the mo'o. Yeah. That's just the mo'o. Obaki hunter saw something similar to that too, like the predator as in the invisible, right?
Right. That invisible being.
The invisible armor kind of thing. You know what? Here we go. Look at this. I think that they would like to see this. At least this old. Yeah, we're good. I'm just gonna stop. There's nobody behind me. Right here. And you guys can see the old Pali Road over here. Try to entertain one can, you know. I don't know Uilani. I don't remember. I don't even remember taking Tom to 13 turns. I know we took him to the palace. I know we took him to Judd. And we took him to Manoa Chinese Cemetery, I think. But not up to the top.
She said it wasn't mo'o. She's walking around with the mo'o and her warrior.
But guys, that's kind of the end of the story. Yeah, basically, what was told to the officer by a kahuna was he interrupted a ritual. The ritual was not taking human sacrifice, but using human sacrifice. This seems to be a common theme, is that they won't take a life. The good ones, they won't take it. But if somebody dies in their waters, they will use it for human sacrifice. And that requires several days of cleaning the body, or cleaning the water around it. And what happened was, as they were doing that ceremonial cleansing, they took the body out of the water before they could finish, and so the water remained dirty, and they had to get rid of all the dirty water and let all the fresh water fill it up with the springs again. That was the time. Yeah. That's sorry. I just wanted to finish that. Now we can move forward.
Yeah, true. I don't think this was mo'o. The mo'o wasn't playing with us either.
No,
it's something totally different.
This wasn't
right
something
now.
else.
I'm not sure. That's not what Uy was getting.
But he said it was bad. That's the feeling I got, is that it was bad. And I'll be honest, this thing, I didn't really want to mess with that thing. It's not my kuleana. It's not my strength. I don't know how to handle this guy, but I get people that do.
So Uy says we were on the side of that road down there. The things felt more primal, not human, more animalistic feel.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a problem with going to these places all the damn time. Like, which time we had that thing, the bush that was 10 feet tall? There's probably been a dozen times we've had something in the bush 10 feet tall over there. But I've never seen the kind. Four pairs of red eyes just popped up all around on the other side of the fence, bro. Right over there. What is that, Uy? You know what that was, man?
Fuck. Sorry, excuse my language.
Alright.
Sorry, guys. You know, I was trying to put a pin, like trying to pinpoint it or figure out what it was. I don't know what it was, but it was. I was very uncomfortable, very, very not at ease. Just I felt like I needed to be on guard. Something was moving on the roadside. I know for sure that I saw.
Something on the road.
Yeah, roadside.
There was something on the other opposite side. In front of me by the water.
In front, right. So it was kind of going on both sides, jumping back and forth. Something actually had either touched my chair or like pulled a tag on my chair or something behind me. I don't know if you saw me jump up and turn around and turn on my light.
Yeah.
Yeah, I seen something had.
Well, see, if that happened, I wouldn't worry. Because, number one, it's allowed in the bubble. Right? It's allowed in my bubble, in our bubble. So, it can't be bad. If it was bad, the guardians would keep them out. And if it's bad, usually you'll smell, you'll feel. You know what I mean? Bad smells bad. Rotting flesh, rotten blood, that kind of stuff, right?
Right.
Well, maybe it was just, I don't know. It could just be, if something comes up and touches me, I kind of jump a little, of course. You know what I mean?
Right.
You don't expect it, but then my logic will tell me, on the that it must be good. If my guardian's allowed it to become this close to me, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Like even the amount of times I switched my chair.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
You never like keep back, yeah.
Right, and then it was like, okay, something's not right. So like, I kind of flipped to where I could see both left and right. You know, instead of having my back towards these areas.
Yeah. Well, we go wind up here anyway.
And I'm not sure why, but it just, I don't know. That was.
Well, we should go right or straight.
We'll go.
We go right. We'll go hang out.
We'll go.
Not more ghost hunting, huh?
Yeah, we just kind of talk about it.
Shoot, last
It's
time
a
me
cop
and...
or not.
No, it's not a cop. That's just a light on the fence.
It's a light on the fence.
Yeah, see?
Gotcha.
Bro, last time when me and Jubu came up here, bro, freaking when something flying was here, bro. I'm getting the impression that there's people up there. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so though. It's a kind of castle estate.
Whew. That was cool.
That was cool. Oh, I never read all these comments. Sorry, I was driving. How's it? Oh, I went all the way up to the top. Cheryl, how's it? Phoebe, how's it? No, I said I wasn't coming on Wednesday night. Hey, James, how's it? Merry Monarch weekend, yep. There we go. Wasn't Mo'o. Was walking with Mo'o and Mo'o Warrior, yep. And I think there's a Mo'o that is playing right now. No, I don't think it was a Mo'o either, yeah. Same time I always did. It's been an hour and a half, Phoebe. We were gonna end it, but then we had some stuff happen on the side of that road down Primal, yeah. I was thinking about going. We almost went there tonight, actually. 13 turns. That's probably why they came over there. Because I already had the intention to go 13 turns, and they're like, "Oh."
Mentioned that to Uri, and she's like,
They're like, "Oh, what you freaking?
Oh, snap!" You know,
Not good enough for you, you know." But I thought you guys was gonna come over here, bro. We have the whole party ready, you know.
Yeah, I told her it was an accident. That was our plan, and then we just kind of turn up the Pali because it's kind of the routine, and we automatically went that way.
Yep. Yeah. That was cool. Well, I don't think it was as cool as the other thing that freaking made us jump, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, that one was
Couple weeks
cool.
ago.
This one was, for me, heavy.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I think
Heavy is a good word. Yeah,
I
heavy is a
knew
good
I
word.
knew.
Hold on.
How do I explain?
Thank you for speaking up, bro.
It's all good. I don't know. Like I don't know. I guess I kind of knew something was gonna go down tonight, or just.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned something like that earlier, or at the beginning.
Oh. Yeah. That's fine. It's cool. Went out 2 weeks now. Had something happen both 2 weeks.
Yeah. Okay. So we just said that was different than the one at Jack the other night. It's that I kind of got that feeling too. Like I didn't feel the same presence.
Well, I was over there and I was ready because that's where that presence comes from. The one
Right. I know
couple
you're
weeks
saying
ago.
that, right?
I was ready for that one. That's the one that. That's the one that I felt when I saw the red eyes.
Mm.
And keep in mind, this one takes people, yeah, spirits that died. It
Right.
traps souls and uses them for its own little thing, kind of thing. Yeah, yeah. It's usually not spooky. I like to go out to haunted places, have fun. We go hang out with the kupuna. We go tell the ghost stories. You know what I mean? That's fun.
Like I guess the feeling I had was actually probably heavier than that first time we went to the fish pond. Like that's how unsettled I was over there. Like I knew something was
The
around.
Fish, yeah,
It was gonna get.
Well, fish pond. You
heavier.
weren't sure if it was a person. You're kind of on the verge between the paranormal and a homeless guy, right?
Right, but in
So
like
you was
how
kind of this what you
uneasy
was
I
like
was and on guard
guaranteed
I
this
was.
was not a homeless guy.
Right. I was just kind of referring more to like how
Okay.
uneasy I was and how on guard I was, and just kind of
Yeah.
feeling edgy.
Yeah.
Like
I could feel that building up. I could feel it, and it wasn't you. It wasn't coming from you. There was stuff around. I think it was reacting to you because it was messing with you.
could be right. Like
Yeah.
I can see that, because it definitely had my
Okay.
attention.
Yeah. Good.
So much so that it was like,
See, so like my mentality, my story. So you need to speak up. If you think it's time to go, it's time to go. Because when something is happening, what I learned doing the ghost tours, and this is my reaction. This is where I go to, is when the ghosts tell us we need to leave. We can't leave every time the ghosts tell us it's time to leave.
right.
You know what I mean? Because if they do that, we did that for a little while, but then as soon as we park, they tell us to leave, and something would happen. You know what I mean? And so you cannot charge people for one ghost tour, and don't take them to the site because the ghosts don't like them. You know what I mean?
Right.
So we started working out a different way of communicating. It's like, okay, yeah. If the ghosts want us to leave, then they have to scare the people in the group. They have to tell the people in the group need to be the one to say that we have to leave. Yeah. But yeah, so like for you to tell me we have to leave, yeah, that's fine. For you telling me that there's something bad over here, I'm still gonna listen. I'm still gonna hang out. You know what I mean? You know what? I'm just gonna end this because I kind of wanna just relax a little bit. Two things. Always leave on your terms. Right? We were in Paradise Park and with the group. And we had literally the bushes in front of us, just something jump out of the bush. Nothing was there, but it made the noise of something going boom, and then the bushes shaking and everything. And I'm talking the bushes that were shaking was 30 or 40-foot drop. Okay, those are the bushes that were shaking in front of us. Um, the whole group jumped. It was a jump scare. Okay, we're over there, we're chilling out, relaxing, telling a story. All of a sudden, there's a noise that makes me stop, and we all turn and look, and then all of a sudden, like that. You know what I mean? It's like everybody started to run and scream, and I yelled, and I'm like, "No, everybody, stop! Stop what you're doing!" And mid-run, they stopped. I'm like, "Come back over here." So we went. They went back over there. We're down the trail at Paradise Park, and I'm like, "Okay, so you guys all came on the ghost tour hoping something would happen, right?" They're like, "Well, kinda, yeah." I'm like, "Good, something happened." So I want you guys to do this. We turn around, look at the bush that just went shake, and say "Mahalo kupuna." I told them, repeat after me, "Mahalo kupuna, mahalo akua," and so they all did. We thank the spirit for doing that. And then I'm like, and now we turn around and then we walk away. And it's our choice. We're not running away. I told him the ghosts are like dogs. If you run, they're gonna chase, right? So you don't run. You leave on your own terms. Troy, how's it? Benny, how's it? Fortunately, it didn't or couldn't attach itself and follow along with you. Did the valley story stir up the energy to manifest? That's a good question. I was wondering that myself. That story I was telling. But here's the thing, right? Nu'uanu Valley, they have all those reservoirs, right? So you would think would have mo'o. But from what I know, those reservoirs are new. Nu'uanu Valley used to be all dry and all the kind sandalwood tree, right? I think it was Kalakaua that redirected the river that's supposed to come out Kaneohe and fill Kawainui Marsh and turn Kawainui Marsh, which used to be Kawainui Fish Pond, and now it's a swamp, not a marsh. You know, but they redirected the water to the other side of Nu'uanu, and that's when the reservoirs came. So they're not ancient Hawaiian. You know what I mean? You're not going to have ancient Hawaiian creatures or something that was created 200 years ago. Mahalo. Benny, how's it? Kapuna. Mahalo. Kapuna is spoon. Kupuna is ancestor, grandma, grandpa. Sorry, that's one of the first things ingrained to me when I was elementary school. Aloha kakahiaka kapuna, and she grabbed the wooden spoon. Kapuna, huh? This is a kapuna. Hey, girls can take up too. Yeah, so there's that. Yeah, don't run away from the ghosts. Always leave on your own terms, right? And next week I'm gonna be in Illinois. I don't know about a Friday Night Live. My son graduates Saturday. Outside of Chicago. My hope is to go to where the murder hotel used to be, was standing. That place would be awesome. Oh, hey, Vinny, no worry, no worry. Kupuna. Kupuna is ancestor. Akua is spirits. Yeah. Or gods with a lowercase g. Hey, Desiree, you're back. I'm right about to get off. It's been an hour and a half. We moved locations. We traded frogs for cars. Yeah, Vinny, no worry, my brother. No worry. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. I hope to go live next week, Friday or Saturday or Sunday. Sunday, I hope to fly. I hope to visit my friend in Wisconsin and maybe visit that haunted forest I told you guys about. I just got to figure out where it is. Yeah, I don't have a guide to drive me around. Get a hold of some people, one of some of Doug's friends, and see if they remember how to get to that haunted forest that I tell you guys about in my 2014 ghost hunting stories. But yeah. So yeah, I will see you guys later. Enjoy the kind Merry Monarch, yeah. Yeah. And yeah, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Hey guys, I have a free stuff. I get Discord. I don't know how to use them, but I get Discord and I get Patreon. You guys can join Patreon for free. And if you guys get suggestions, can post in Patreon for what kind of videos you guys like or anything like that. Yeah. If you guys want to come on here, do a live with me, tell stories or whatever, yeah, feel free. But anyways, yeah, it's all on top of the Facebook one and I think the YouTube one as well. Yeah. Take care, guys. We'll see you guys every Friday night, supposedly, theoretically, for the last 5 years, 6 years. Take care. Aloha.